What up, guys? Welcome back to another video. It's your boy Vibing with Fred. Today we got a story time. You see the title of the video. We're talking about an American guy who came to Salvador for just a couple days. Right? He was only here for a short period of time before this incident actually happened. Now, before we even get into the whole story that he gave me, his version of the story, I'm gonna give his version of what he told me, and then I'm gonna tell you guys what I think about it, and was it the correct thing to do or the not so great thing to do. Now, again, I'm not taking anybody's side on this, and I'm saying that whether he's right or wrong, I'm gonna just leave this story time right here for everybody that wants to chime in, and let me know in the comment section what you guys think of this story. All right. So one of the guys that I'm familiar with from YouTube and the Telegram group, right? Never really fully had a conversation with him. Just a few times. I think he did a consultation with me before, and he told me he was coming to Salvador. Now, guys, I'm gonna say this. I've been putting Salvador on the map in a very positive way. So a lot of people come to Salvador and they want to experience it from watching my content. All right. So this guy came to, I'm not going to say his name out of security reasons and confidentiality. I'm not going to expose his name and all that type of stuff like that. But he is a black man, African American, so-called African American man. All right. He came to Salvador Bahia and was enjoying the beach. Like I said, he was only here for a short period of time, and it was in the late evening times of the day. And he was walking, and he said that he noticed some guys that was eyeing him, kind of looking at him in a more sketchy way to possibly try to rob him. So when he initially hit me up, he was like, bro, these dudes tried to rob me on the beach. And he told me this while he was here. And he was in Baja, Salvador, by the way, which is not predominantly known for pickpockets and people robbing people when the sun is out, so on and so forth. So because of that, I was just kind of thrown off, because I'm like, that doesn't even sound like Baja, because hell, I've been living in Baja just for the 2 years that I've been in Brazil, and I've never even experienced none of that. Not to say it doesn't happen, not to say people have not been shot in Baja, burglaries, things like that, but it's just not a common thing, right? So when he told me that, I was kind of just like thrown off. I was shocked. So he tells me that these three or four guys was like circling him, and he's walking, and he don't know any Portuguese, by the way. And he said one guy starts speaking some English, and he kind of was, a little bit at ease, but the other guys kept circling him. And when the guys got closer to him, he just went straight off and punched the dude. He punched one dude, the dude fell, punched another guy, and he kind of backed up a little bit. And the other two guys was pretty much with their hands in the air like, yo, we don't want any problems. We're no problems, right? So when he tells me this, I'm like, I have questions. So I'm just like, because from what it sounded like some dudes were speaking Portuguese, looking at him, probably because he's a foreigner, right? He's from Florida. The American guy's from Florida. Now, we know Florida in itself is a whole different city, state. No, I say city. It's a whole different state. Depending where you live in Florida is a whole different area in itself compared to the outside. It's like Florida's its own world, right? So compared to the other outside world, they do things in Florida a lot different. I think people are a little bit more on edge in Florida, rightfully so. I mean, when you look at the news, Florida I feel like every time there's a mass shooting, it's somewhere in Florida, whether it be school shootings or just all types of shit goes down in Florida. People eating people's faces and all types of shit. Florida is wild, bro. Beautiful state, but it's wild too, right? So I get it, how people can be on edge. Now, me being in Baja for a long time, to see, and I asked the guy, I was like, what do these guys look like? You know, describe these guys to me. So he's saying that they was at the beach, and they didn't look like they was there at the beach for women. They looked like they was just at the beach for some sketchy shit. So I'm just like, cause he started saying that, you know, when guys come to the beach and they know they're trying to enjoy the beach, you know, they're gonna be trying to dress a little, they're gonna try to dress presentable, right? Matching, or, you know, got the oil, the lotion, or the fragrance, the sunglasses, the towel. You know, you ready for the beach, right? Which I can agree. I know when I go to the beach, I'm not exiting my house ashy as hell, back dry, chest dry, legs dry, feet dry. I'm gonna oil up and walk around, right? Because I know there's women out there, and women are gonna be looking, right? So it makes sense. I'm gonna have my shades on. I got my beach stuff ready, right? And I'm ready. I'm presentable for the beach. I'm smelling good, right? So I get his point on that as well. Now, he said these guys didn't smell. They smelled like shit, in other words. So I'm okay. What are they dressed like? What are they looking like? So he said they had a more homeless look, right? Possibly using drugs. So I'm like, okay, cool. So they're probably homeless or drug users and living on the street, which is not uncommon in Baja. If you've been to Baja, you can pretty much spot these people out, right? So from what it sounds like, in my opinion, and don't get me wrong, I feel like he probably jumped the gun, because these guys probably most likely didn't want nothing to do with him or anything like that, because again, Baja has a huge police presence. Like, there's police circling, making rounds, they sitting on the street, they posted on the street, all that type of stuff. So for a homeless person to run up on you, at least 3 or 4 of them to run up on you, for anything other than asking you for some money is mind-blowing. It's not common at all. So I think he was just out of his territory, a little bit on edge. He didn't speak the language, and punched off on 2 of the guys. Got into a fight in the middle of the street, and it's still daytime out. It's in the late evenings, but it's still daytime, right? So I'm like, damn. So this shit's going on. So again, nobody's gonna say anything, because again, it's Brazil. People mind their own business. They don't know what's what and what. They don't get involved in other people's affairs. So he punched off on the guys, and it's like 3 or 4 of them, and he hit 2 of them, and he went back to his hotel. Never left the hotel again until he called his Uber to go back to the airport, and he literally left the next day, just because he was afraid, and he didn't want to live his entire time while he was in Brazil, cooped up in his apartment. So out of just being comfortable, he went back to the United States. And then he explained to me more, why he left and why he didn't want to stay and how he didn't feel comfortable. Now, in my opinion, I think he overreacted to the situation. I don't think these guys really truly wanted anything to do with him about anything negatively. I think it was just a big, huge misunderstanding. And just based off of what he said with the other guys that put their hands up, like, bro, we don't want any problems. Again, they're speaking Portuguese. And I don't think he really truly understood, because he doesn't speak Portuguese. And the one that did speak English, I don't know if he left or whatever the case. It's a lot of questions that's unanswered in this situation. It's a lot of questions unanswered. But of course, we don't condone violence, but we do condone protecting ourselves, no matter where you go in the world. You know, just because you go to a different country doesn't mean you're supposed to be punching on people, but at the same time, doesn't mean you're supposed to be letting people punch on you. So I think a lot of guys get it mixed up when they go to these other countries that they're just supposed to be a bitch. And no, you're a man at the end of the day. It don't matter where the hell you go. You're not gonna bitch me out, bro. I don't give a shit where you are. But at the same time, I'm not gonna be anybody's bitch, and I'm not looking for no bitch. So when you put it that way, it's respect, then that is what it is. But I'm definitely not gonna let you bitch me, and I'm definitely not gonna bitch you, right? But if you come into my space, I will defend myself. That's period is that, point blank. Right? So we don't condone any violence, but I do condone protecting yourself. All right? So let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Was the situation overreacted by this American guy, or was it justified? All right? So in my opinion, I think it was overreaction to a certain degree of misunderstanding, because they probably just walking around and he just so happened to be there, so they're walking around. But coming from his background and where he's from and the culture of where he's from in Florida, I can see why he would think someone's circling him and trying to set him up for a fight or to rob him, so on and so forth, especially if that's your first time in Brazil. So I can understand why he did it, but at the same time, I think he overreacted to the situation. And if those guys was anybody serious or knew anybody after the fact, they could have sent people his way. Or, you know, it's his first time in Brazil. So, I mean, you don't know these guys from Adam. So you don't know what they're capable of. And you just pretty much just beat up, knocked one dude out, and then hit the other one. And then and the other one's kind of just backed up. Right? So I know typically when dudes is robbing you in Brazil, nobody's backing up. They come in full force. So the fact that the motion of anybody putting their hands up like they don't want to fight or anything like that, and all you're doing is fist fighting, that kind of tells me that these dudes wasn't on anything serious. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section, guys. If you want to hear more story times about crazy shit in Brazil from Americans, from Brazilians, let me know in the comment section. I'll start doing more of these story times for you guys to enjoy. All right. So like, comment, subscribe. Also turn that bell notification on so you guys are alerted every time we post a new video. All right. We'll see you guys in the next story time.